can't hold back, you know, be the one, be the one. No time has passed, you know, be the one, be the one.
I'm always in it for the greater good. Ain't it always better when we live in friendly neighborhoods? I'll never turn a back on any saving like a savior should. That nerdy loser kid you didn't like, but that you later would. I know I got potential, keep that in my mental. Web shoot all the ones who need it, they ain't even on my level. Wasn't sure what I'd become, I get it now though I'm essential. See, I set my life aside to keep the real me confidential. I will never be defeated, they will never see it. Something deep in me is never stopping till my goal's completed. I will show the world exactly who they bullied and they beaten. Got the motive of a hero that no evil could have weakened. Always jumping into action when they need it. See, I'll be the one to keep the people in the city breathing. Gotta let them know that they have got somebody to believe in. Know the one and only Spider-Man is here and isn't leaving.
Call yourself the one and only, got rid of you for a reason. I am the entire story, you were just a teaser. Beat electrocution and a reptilian savage. I am the amazing Spider-Man, you guys are just average. My quips are the best, I'm the funny guy. The only thing you're good at is an ugly cry. Super confident, hopping quick over obstacles, bobbing, weaving through traffic, dramatic swinging, I scoff at you clowns. Here's a red nose, I ain't gonna lie to you. I got the best pose, plus I got the best Spideys. My name is Peter Parker, your name is Penis Parker. You want some hero tips? Make me a decent offer. And Miles, please, you really need to grow up. Go back to your alternate universe before it blows up. Graffiti on the suit, you need to show respect, because with great power comes great. Come on, you know the rest.
I can't hold back, you know, be the one, be the one. No time has passed, you know, be the one, be the one.
Got me dialed up to 11. Only real Avenger here, yeah, said it. Not the first putting Parker on the map, but in 20 years, who's the one your kids not forgetting? Nah, Peter's home, and I ain't going anywhere. I'm not alone. Only 15 when I swung through the city. You're living in the past, but the future looking pretty. You and those had a good run. And yeah, we all flip around town, but I do my own stunts. Yeah, I do my own stunts. Got my new suit, doing things your pajamas couldn't dream of. You should've known I'm a real one. Do it all for Mr. S and I'm not done. You talk a big game from the ground, but I got my head in the clouds.
Here come the underdog fighting in the brawl. You trying to find a flaw, disappear in my dialogue. Got a likable face, but this electrical charge will find a place in your heart or travel up your veins and your genitals. Look at the catalog with the best in the squad. Black and red stars got a background checking these frauds, cause they don't belong in my Spider-Verse. On high alert, I'm a literal lightning rod, my feelings slight a burst. Thinking I'm funny like I don't put in work. Facing all these suited up dummies gon' end up looking worse. Call me Morales, I'm miles away from all your talents. Now the challenge was wet swinging without a type of callus. Look what I did in fist, look like a book assist. Brought a fist to a spider sense, leave with a bulging disc. Peter need to park it down when I be round. No longer an amateur, I'm crowned as a king of the cash cow.
I can't hold back, you know, be the one, be the one. No time has passed, you know, be the one, be the one.
No more sitting in my room, I'm a man now. Just heard the police scanner yelling man down. And I know it's got something to do with the kingpin. Flying out the window, smack him when I see him. Peter Parker Pippin, I know that you love the red suit. Man, you better give it up, I know you see the web shoot. Just a friendly neighbor, I'm coming in for the rescue. Gotta pay the bills, not doing this to impress you. You are not a problem, if you try to rob him. I'ma swing in like a baby on a rocker. This is too
Easy. Why do you even bother? What's good, everybody?
hanging from the ceiling for the coppers. Yes, New York. Born and raised, we had to struggle. Things never been the same ever since I lost my uncle. Yeah, I could've went insane, but I chose to stay humble. Now I'm taking down gangs in the concrete jungle.
Oh, did you not get the message? You know I turn it up to 11.
Let's start some.
Listen to your friends. This is my
That's
city
it.
now.
Oh,
Welcome
welcome.
to the world.
Oh, there you go.
from the gutter.
Try to start trouble. Friends, my city. Oh, you not get the message. You know what's turning up to 11.
Trying to start trouble, should've listened to your friends. This is my city now, welcome to the world.
Zooming across the city like a zip line. Somebody else in trouble, man. What is it this time?
But everybody wanna be Spider-Man.
That's a death sentence. Maybe I should call the defenders over in Hell's Kitchen. Nah, I'm fully focused, man. Yeah,
I got this.
I'm ignoring the
Tabloids,
and the
politics.
My camera clicks, but they twisted. My pictures. Jonah Jameson, man, you suffering from
Big mud.
Yeah, stop the trash talk. I'm a marathon runner. You were just a fast walk. Never land a punch on me. You moving in slow mo. Try to run crime in my city. That's a no-no.
Oh, coming out from the gutter. You know it's gonna take down another. You're trying to start trouble, should've listened to your friends. This is my city now, welcome to the
What's good, everybody?
Oh, you did not get the message. You know what's it up to 11.
I start trouble.
Should've listened to your friends. This is my city now, welcome to the world.
Fly through the air with the greatest of ease. I'll soon be there if you just wait for me. I'm really tired of Sinister Six. Why do they try to make my life the pits? I'm out here fighting demons on the roof, Mr. Negative. Will you please call off your goons? Yeah, my spidey senses tingling. Watch the back, I'm too quick on the moves. They will not see me when I attack.
Oh, did you not get the message? You know
Ooh,
I
we
turn
turn-
it up to 11. You're trying to start trouble, should've listened to your friends. This is my city now, welcome to the world. Oh, they're coming out from
Yeah, I'm sorry, this song's so fire, turns you up.
always trying to take down another. You're trying to start trouble, should've listened to your friends. This is my city, my city, my city. Oh, did you not get the message? You know I turn it up to 11. You're trying to start trouble, should've listened to your friends. This is my city now, welcome to the world.
Sorry, chat, that song's too fire. You already know that I had to come with that. Alright, but anyways, we're gonna be getting into some more gameplay and stuff. Like, we're gonna be. Oh yeah, if anybody is not joining me, that like. First though, we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this, chat. We gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this. Andrew might be returning, but we gotta talk about this. We have like a whole lot. Make sure you go and hit that like button. We're on the road to that like button down below. And fantastic live streaming.
Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where
Oh,
we
what's
talk
good,
all
Cosmic
things
Talk?
Marvel and MCU, and of course, Spider-Verse. And today, it looks like we have even more evidence that suggests that Andrew Garfield is not done playing Spider-Man
Yes,
and
sir.
could appear in other Spider-Man movies, possibly his own, or could perhaps even come back to the
I'm gonna leave this
MCU.
link down in the description too.
Obviously, fans have been wanting this for some time now, even before Spider-Man No Way Home came
Exactly.
out. Fans were still hoping to get an amazing Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
But after No Way Home came out and Andrew Garfield kind of had a redemption arc in that movie, a lot of fans have really been pushing for Sony to make the Amazing Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
3. There was even a big petition for it. And Andrew Garfield
That's what I personally want. I want an Amazing Spider-Man.
actually said that he was open to it. He was open to play more Spider-Man. And now Spider-Man No Way Home is actually back in theaters with the extended cut. And they added a lot of new scenes to the movie. And one of those scenes actually hints at Andrew Garfield returning to play more Spider-Man, whether that's in the Sony Spider-Verse or again with Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the MCU. And of course, not to mention, this is also a hint that Tobey Maguire might not be done as well. In the Spider-Man No Way Home, the more fun stuff version, we can see Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man talking to the other two, expressing how he would like to reunite with his
And he
fellow
says
Peter
that we
Parkers. In this scene, Andrew Garfield's Peter 3 talks to Tobey Maguire's Peter 2, and he says, "We should do this again," in which Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man replies, "You got it." And you can see that right here.
Home is back in theaters.
Who's coming with me?
Catch it on the big screen
Well, I'm in.
with new
Oh, we're in.
footage.
We should do this again. You got it.
Spider-Man No Way Home. Rated PG-13.
Dun, 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 dun.
Now, if you haven't seen the Spider-Man No Way Home, the more fun stuff version, it is in theaters right now, so you want to go see it before it leaves theaters again. But this scene right here is actually
Exactly what I'm
curious
actually
to
gonna.
me. It sparks my
tomorrow.
curiosity that they included this scene back in the extended version. Now, we know that Sony had particular plans with their Spider-Verse moving forward, but when Spider-Man No Way
Right.
Home came out, it was such a major success that some of those plans actually changed. And shortly after the success of Spider-Man No Way Home,
For those guys who don't know, this idea came from a fan. It was originally supposed to be a Craven movie. They got the idea from a fan. So since we got the video, not the video, but got this idea, made it into it did.
a lot of the insiders started talking about Andrew Garfield returning for a more prominent role in Sony's Spider-Verse, and Tobey Maguire returning as well for some cameos or possibly a role in a movie here or there.
I
And
would
now
love for
Sony
that to
went
happen.
ahead and
I
included
love
this scene.
For those guys who don't know, Andrew is my favorite, like Spider-Man. Peter Parker? Eh. A Spider like we're not even talking like as a Spider-Man. Oh my gosh, this thing. Oh Jesus.
In the more fun version, this particular scene that shows Andrew Garfield Spider-Man saying that he wants to reunite with the other Spider-Man again, and Tobey
get me
Maguire
started on screens.
Spider-Man
They go for
saying
hours on this.
absolutely, you got it. I find that pretty coincidental, especially if you consider the fact that it does kind of seem like Sony has a new plan for their Spider-Verse,
All right.
especially with Madam Web coming out. Now in the comics, Madam Web really explores the multiverse. She's a cosmic entity, and if they're going to go that same route in their Sony Spider-Verse, that means that the multiverse
Andrew
is about
Spider-Man
to
will be
get
the-
even bigger. This definitely opens the door up for Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man to return, for Tobey Maguire's
That would mean that Andrew Spider-Man would be the likely one. I mean that Andrew Spider-Man would be the likely one to have a Spider-Man. Without him counterbalancing. Balance. Have a universe Spider-Man. That's the only reason why I bought that up. Parker's there. Mom's there. Parker.
Spider-Man to return, and others to return as well and be introduced and be main characters like Spider-Gwen, Miles Morales, Spider-Man 20.
Oh man, I just thought about that for a second. Andrew's when he sees a Gwen Stacy with powers, he's going to burst into tears. Oh,
2099. There's a whole bunch of potential here. However, that's just the Sony Spider-Man universe. There is still a lot that can happen in the MCU. Actually, not too long ago, only a few months ago, there was a report that Andrew Garfield had actually signed a new deal to play Spider-Man for multiple films, and one of those was even rumored to be Secret Wars. Now, not too long after that, the official Avengers Secret Wars movie was announced. So it looks like the possibility for Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man actually coming back to the Sony universe and the MCU is looking better and better. And
and on top of that, chat, I forgot to tell you guys, make sure you go ahead and leave a like on the live stream. And on top of that, I will be streaming Marvel Games D23. That's right, I will be streaming Marvel Games supposed to be there. You know, we might get something Spider-Man too. So expect the stream Friday.
And honestly, I would be kind of shocked.
And on top of that, with my prediction, it seems like my prediction. We'll get into that later on live stream. My prediction coming true.
If we didn't see Tobey and Andrew both show up in Secret Wars. I mean, we already saw them in No Way Home. Secret Wars is going to be all about incursions and variants of all of the characters that we already know, and hopefully a lot that we don't know as well. I really would be shocked if we didn't see Andrew and Tobey both show up for Secret Wars. But now it's looking better than ever, especially with this scene from Spider-Man No Way Home. The more fun stuff version with Andrew Garfield Spider-Man saying that he would like to meet up with the other two again. Hopefully this means we are one step closer to seeing Andrew Garfield Garfield back in his Spider-Man suit, and hopefully the Amazing Spider-Man eventually does get made. After all, I'm pretty sure
I need
Sony
that
saw
third
that
movie.
petition, and I know Andrew.
I need that third movie. I need that third movie. Ow.
Garfield is down, so fingers crossed. But in the meantime, let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. What would you like to see happen from Andrew Garfield? Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe
y'all
so you
heard
can
him.
stay up to date on all things relating to Spider-Man and the MCU.
Alright. Yeah, that's a W video. Alright, so now we're gonna go ahead and get into what I've been got to Comic Blast Keenan. Back with Comic Blast Keenan.
Marvel Spider-Man 2. Could Spider-Man kill in Marvel Spider-Man 2? Just how dark is Insomniac planning on taking this story? How far do they plan on pushing
That black
Peter
suit's gonna
Parker?
end up doing.
Let's discuss.
What I'm saying is that black suit's gonna.
What's up, everyone?
That's the only thing that I want to see. I want to see if that black suit's gonna. That's
CBK
Peter.
here, bringing you another Marvel Spider-Man 2 discussion video. Most of you guys already know, but if you don't, Marvel Spider-Man is the only thing that I talk about on my channel. I talk about rumors, theories, and make wishlist videos for Marvel Spider-Man 2. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then be sure to subscribe to keep up with all of the Marvel Spider-Man 2 hype. You know, we're getting really close to another trailer or gameplay soon, so I'll have you covered with plenty of videos once that
Which I'm excited about because it seems like my prediction is actually happening. If you guys don't know, I made a post on Twitter. And I made a video about the game coming out, or the anniversary next week. Insomniac drops that next week or in a couple days, or the after, because they actually have real games. So if my prediction's correct, then there should be dropping on that.
happens. Alright, so let's swing on.
A lot of people
into
didn't get
the
their copy
topic
from
of today's
Spider-Man.
video. So we know for certain that this game is going to be a little bit darker than the first one. The vice president of Marvel Games, Bill Roseman, actually confirmed that himself. But just how dark will they be willing to take this game? And one question that I see a lot from you guys in my comment section is, will the symbiote cause Peter/Spider-Man to kill in Marvel Spider-Man 2? The symbiote will obviously have a major effect on Peter as a character.
Yeah.
It has a history of bringing out the worst in Peter.
Yeah, you're bringing out the worst. Also has the potential to have him be more aggressive. That's the thing that nobody doesn't know. Like the black suit has the aggressive.
Sure, he gets new abilities and is even more powerful, but
He likes those new abilities, but
all at the cost of altering his personality and elevating his anger. So,
Right.
is there a chance that
It's gonna
Peter
feed
could
off of the
kill
anger.
in this game? I mean, sure. It's certainly possible, but it's not something I think is likely to happen. Listen, the symbiote will undoubtedly make Peter do some things that we're against, and what
Exactly.
Spider-Man typically stands for. Perhaps he stops pulling his punches and takes things a little too far in combat.
ooh. Okay, Keenan. Okay, Keenan. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. Let's go to that. Oh my gosh. It would be so. Spider-Man. Basically what he's saying is that Peter can essentially, become less friendly Spider-Man, and gonna get rageful, bitter, which means that there's a potential scene that will make or well, I don't want to say but it would probably end up making us question his ability to question him, and that would potentially mean that with that would mean that through you're having the symbiote. I'm pretty sure Insomniac's doing this right. That mean that they took Andrew's quote from No Way Home, literally.
And to be honest, that's something I would like to see from a gameplay perspective.
Right.
I am all for Spider-Man destroying criminals in a more brutal fashion than we're used to seeing. And
Yeah, I would love to see that. Like, don't mind, Spider-Man is super strong combined with the symbiote. Come on, guys, Spider-Man is super strong, so basically he would be sending, like, at some point, say he beats, right, and he doesn't stop. There's a potentiality that he might end up killing.
perhaps Peter is quick to get angry at the people who love him. Maybe
Right.
he loses his patience more often. These are all things I expect to see from a symbiote Spider-Man story. But I'm not so sure Insomniac is going to have the face of the franchise and one of the faces of PlayStation kill. I don't see them going that dark. Maybe he gets close to that point, but stops himself before he actually kills anyone. There
Maybe
is
he
an
snaps back into
interesting
reality.
direction that Insomniac could take the story if they wanted to, and I want to reference the comic Spider's Shadow. If you're
Right.
unfamiliar with this one, it's a bit of a what-if story, where we see what would happen to Spider-Man if he had kept the symbiote instead of getting rid of it.
Oh,
In the
it's
story, we
poison!
learn that Spider-Man admits he wants to kill his villains to MJ, and he actually ends up killing 3 of them. He brutally murders Hobgoblin, Scorpion, and Kingpin in this comic. Now, I don't want this to happen, of course. However, I love that this story dives into the true mental state of Spider-Man, where we learn that Peter wishes he could kill his villains.
He can't do
We get
it.
to see that inner conflict, and I would love to see that explored in Marvel Spider-Man 2. I definitely don't want Spider-Man to kill in this story, but I would love to see Peter wrestle with the idea of doing it and leaving us on the edge, wondering if Spider-Man will kill, especially if one of Peter's villains ends up killing someone that he loves in this game.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps, maybe in Peter's fragile state, he becomes enraged with the thought of how Otto is responsible for the death of May. Imagine a little mission where symbiote Spider-Man is breaking into the raft to get his revenge and kill Otto. Just throwing an unlikely to happen
That would be
scenario
so
out
cool.
there. Other ways that they could make this story dark besides Spider-Man killing someone is to really focus in on the relationships that Spider-Man/Peter has. They could
Right.
really go all in on the effects of the symbiote suit. How does Peter with the symbiote suit affect the people he cares about the most? I've said it before and I'll say it again. Peter's
Saw with MJ, saw with Eddie Brock. Mostly, saw with MJ mostly though. Because the thing is, Toby has already had experience with Black Suit. I'm not trying to. Obviously, it's different. But what if there's a way they could somehow, in some way, take the symbiote? Peter realized that's messing with his mind, and he almost comes. Does that? He's snap back into reality. He's, okay, I gotta get this off. Have a conflict, kind of like a probably some out on reality. That's gonna force him off.
These relationships are a core piece of the Spider-Man character. So diving into the friction that the symbiote causes his relationships to have is certainly a way that they could make the story a little bit darker and even more dramatic. All in all, do I think that Spider-Man will kill in Marvel Spider-Man 2? No. Do I think that
No.
he could come close? Certainly. As I mentioned before, I'd love to see the story explore Peter's mental state and how he wrestles with the idea of killing. I want to see how the symbiote affects him mentally. I think that this is certainly a way to bring out a darker tone that everyone speaks of. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section.
I would love to see that darker tone.
Spider-Man is capable of killing in Marvel Spider-Man 2, and is that something you want to see happen? Let me know in the comments so we can discuss. And if you're still watching the video, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up.
I'll leave this link down in the
description.
description.
Me to keep dropping more Marvel Spider-Man 2 videos. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later.
That's one I would love to see. I would love to see what would happen if snapped in the game. Like if Alright, so let's check out the event. I want to check out the Yuri. And even at Guardians of the Galaxy. Full combat mechanics. Let's have crime. I would love to see. I would love this.
Blast Keenan here, your #1 source for Marvel Spider-Man 2 videos. And
Hey.
today I have another great one for you guys. I want to talk about the role of Wraith, aka Yuri, in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Believe it or not, Yuri was actually one of my favorite characters from Marvel Spider-Man. While her role wasn't a massive one in the main
I loved her too. I loved Yuri too, but the thing is, like, I didn't know that she was gonna be like that prominent. I didn't know that she was gonna become like, you know, but like Yuri, hands down one of my favorite characters. Oh, that plot twist is justice.
I just love that Spider-Man had someone he could trust in the police department, and
It was
her
so
banter
good too.
pretty great from time to time. But she really did shine in the City That Never Sleeps DLC.
Oh, that Turf
which
Wars
was the
DLC.
point in that story. And that is where we need to start in order to discuss what her role could look like in Spider-Man 2. In that DLC, we really started to see Yuri's turn to a scarier side. During the City That Never Sleeps DLC, we get a story of a feuding gang war involving the Magia and Hammerhead. Yuri, her officers, and Spider-Man are looking to put an end to this gang war that Hammerhead is at the center of. In the process,
And the thing is that made Yuri snap. That made Yuri snap a little bit. With Yuri being there, it made her throughout the DLC, throughout Turf Wars, throughout the Turf Wars DLC, you start to see Yuri change a little bit. After that, it was the part where Spider-Man walked into the bar, if I can remember. You guys remember that? It was whenever walked into a bar with no name. And it's just I know what scene he's talking. I don't have that. What? Chat. Throughout this whole entire scene, like
down.
Any available units, please respond to a report of active property
like she
destruction.
went through. You guys haven't played. Went through. Aired out the bar.
Yuri.
And see that Peter. As soon as he walks in,
Who did all this? Yuri.
Yuri did all of that. After that, it
I've
goes
never
to
seen Yuri lose control like this. Hey, what is that? Can't believe you survived.
After that, Panther.
Vinny.
Hell you been? Whatever. She the main crew to get ready for dropping my engine at Mercy General. I'm dropping my. She wrecked the joint.
Cop?
See, look.
Yeah, what a knobby or whatever. She wrecked the joint. I'm dropping my engine at Mercy General, then meeting the main crew.
See, look. Yuri went through Team Wraith. Without Wraith, you guys did not play. That mission where you have to go.
Of it all, we get one of the saddest deaths when Hammerhead kills Lieutenant Drake. You know, the guy who had the Spider-Man watch that his son gave him for his birthday.
Spidey, check it out.
Yep.
Nice.
That's not regulation, Lieutenant.
Sorry, Captain. Birthday present from the kid.
Now that she kills Drake, and that's a sign that she was on. Hammerhead.
Man, that was tough. Here is where Yuri really starts to make a turn.
Yep.
She becomes fueled with rage towards Hammerhead, and this is where I believe she starts to realize that doing things by the book isn't going to stop Hammerhead. She starts to lose faith in the system, and she wants Hammerhead dead. And she almost...
Keep in mind, chat, in this whole entire DLC, Yuri didn't care how she was going to do it. Didn't care. Didn't care. So, if you guys did play Tales of Justice mission in Marvel Spider-Man, you guys obviously know that she does hunt dead members. She does hunt for members of the mob that she
gets what she wants. Spider-Man later gets an opportunity to stop Hammerhead. However, Yuri comes in and finds Spider-Man. She is coming for Hammerhead. She wants to kill him.
This whole entire scene right here, so crazy. That threw me off guard too.
So yeah, turning yourself into a crime against nature, maybe not such a good idea after all, huh?
Pal, you weren't listening when I said long term.
Whole entire scene.
Maji's got patience.
You guys did not see my first reaction. This, I was so confused. Especially when this happened.
Yuri.
Look, she starts to turn against Spider-Man, right?
No, Yuri, don't do this. Captain, stop.
Now that she unloads into Hammerhead.
This is bad.
Last time we met,
Yep.
you said something about
fear.
How do you feel now?
Just dandy.
Now she tries to kill Hammerhead right here. This right here had this right here throughout the whole entire DLC. I had a feeling that Yuri was already turning. That first time, whenever you see her in DLC, whenever you see Hammerhead, it already felt like, you know, about to turn. This right here was confusing. Then right here, Yuri snaps back in. Right here, Yuri just goes all confused. Lost. Spider-Man's just looking. Right here is just frozen.
And it appears that she does, but we come to find out later that he does indeed survive that shot to the head because, well, his head has a metal plate in it. But in that scene, you can just sense that Spider-Man fears for her. While you don't see his facial expression, you just know that he is worried. She just tried to kill a man, which goes against the law and what Spider-Man believes in. So what is next for Yuri from here? Well, this is where we get into the origin story of Wraith. In the comics, Yuri becomes known as the anti-hero Wraith after she completely loses faith in the justice system and thinks that the only way you can really stop a criminal like Hammerhead is to kill them. Here is a quote from the Amazing Spider-Man Volume 3 from Yuri as she is speaking to Spider-Man. The Yuri Watanabe you know, she wasn't real. That Yuri was a story I made up. A lie I told myself. The good granddaughter I thought I wanted to be. Do you know what a Wraith is, Spider-Man? It's a wisp, a trace, a ghost, the fading memory of someone who's gone. There's a reason I took the mask back so easily after giving it up. I didn't understand that fully until I killed a man last night. Yuri Watanabe would have been horrified by what I did. But you know how I felt? I felt free. If you don't know already, Yuri wanted to be a cop because of her grandfather. He was one when she was younger. She was always trying to be like him. I feel like this is the trajectory we are headed in with the character of Wraith. She is
100%.
certainly making a turn, and I can see her and Spider-Man clashing over ideologies. As far as her role in the game, I wish I could say that I think she'll be in the main story, but I don't think that she will. I feel like this story that we're getting in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is already going to have so many characters to focus on that it would be nearly impossible to fit in a side story with Wraith. I do think that there is a very strong chance that we pick up with Yuri/Wraith's story in another DLC dedicated to her, but I wouldn't rule out a little side mission that is available within the main story to kind of
It's just a little tease like they did with Black Cat.
But I could see
Oh, that would be so fire. They did the exact same thing with Black Cat where you had to go around and you had to get. If I can remember that suit, it was the Black Cat suit. I can't remember. I did play. Oh, the dark suit. Yeah, because they teased Black Cat's return. They teased Black Cat's return because of the fact that they had you hunting down the dark suit. So through the dark suit, that got you ready for the deal.
happening is us having a DLC where criminals are being found dead all throughout New York City.
You have to find whoever it
Spider-Man
is.
Trying to piece together some clues to find out who is behind these killings. Until later we find out it is Yuri, aka Wraith. This could lead to some epic fight between Spider-Man and Wraith.
Right.
Of course, Spider-Man is going to do his job by trying to convince her to stop and that this is not her. There is a rumor/leak out there that there will be a third playable character in this game, and that character is said to have some similarities to Wraith when it comes to abilities. So there's a small, very small chance that she could be a playable character. And if that's the case,
I would
would
love to see that.
her and Spider-Man team up if they go on to take on a bigger threat in this DLC. But overall, I'm really excited to see where her story goes next. I'd love to know what predictions you have for her character in the sequel. But that's going to do it for this video. Be sure to subscribe to keep up with all of the Marvel Spider-Man 2 hype. I'd love to see if we can hit at least maybe 220 likes.
I'm gonna leak down to all of his videos in the.
But that's going to be it for me. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.
Gotta check out the dual combat after. If you guys are enjoying the stream, just go ahead and hit that like button on the stream.
Here to bring you another Marvel Spider-Man 2 video, and today we're talking about a fan favorite character, Black Cat. She's been especially popular ever since the release of Marvel Spider-Man on PC, but we don't need to get into that. But lately I've been doing a series on my channel going over what characters should be in Marvel Spider-Man 2 and what roles could they have in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Last week I did one for Yuri/Wraith. If you haven't checked that
Oh,
one
I saw
out,
about that. The
definitely
black combined. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh, the amount wasn't that I'm gonna take of the blacks. Is Black Cat are gonna be? Sorry, chat, but if you guys don't know, that's literally like the best combination. You have Spidey suit matching like some with Black Cat suit. You guys have seen actor Spider-Man yet? It looks so good. Black suit looks so.
Do it after this video. But today we're going to talk about Black Cat. Black Cat, aka Felicia Hardy, is an awesome character and had a very small presence in Marvel Spider-Man, but had an even larger role in the City That Never Sleeps DLC. The DLC really went into Felicia's and Peter's complex and intimate history with one another. They obviously were at one point in time in a relationship with one another after Peter and MJ initially split for the first time. And in the City That Never Sleeps DLC, she even had Peter believing that he could potentially be a father to her son. We later found out that the whole baby thing was a lie. Or was it? Although she did lie
on
about
September
her son
8th,
being
we're actually
kidnapped,
gonna be
it doesn't
playing
mean
it.
that she lied about actually having a son. But I say all of this just to emphasize the point that Spider-Man and Black Cat have a very complex history. One that obviously makes Peter uncomfortable talking about, especially with MJ. So is there a place for the character of Black Cat within Marvel Spider-Man 2? Well, Maybe. This story is going to be slam-packed with characters already. Between Harry as Venom, the setup for Green Goblin, and Kraven, along with a ton of returning characters, it may be a little hard to fit in Black Cat into this story, unless it's for a smaller role. But I do think I could find a way to fit her into this narrative. And it all boils down to how Peter acts once he has the black symbiote suit. It's no secret that the reason that Peter and Felicia really split was because of their differences in their lifestyles. Peter always wanted her to be on the straight and narrow, but that could really change with the black suit.
Ooh, that could really alter Peter's personality and he would start liking Black Cat more than MJ. Woo! I'm sorry. That would be a great idea because those thing is, like I said, Chet, with the black suit, and with Peter wearing the black suit, Black Cat is more attracted to wearing that suit. Don't know why, she just is. Like the style, like Peter's style with the black suit out of nowhere. Go back and look at Spectacular Spider-Man. All of that changes. Like all of that changes on the black. Like as soon as he has on a black suit, all of that changes. Yeah, like his mind changed. That's the only reason why. That's the only reason why I can see that happening, because right here.
And the crazy thing, they think I stole the alien. I never even got a good look at it.
Ooh, that's a good look.
Look, let's what Black Cat says.
Ooh, that's a good look for you. I'm flattered, truly. See,
Black Cat thinks that he's on the exact same level.
I knew we made a connection.
Connection. That's the only way they're gonna make a connection is if he has on the black suit. That's it. Chances are the black suit's probably gonna alter his personality. It's probably gonna with Black Cat more.
Being that Peter will have the black symbiote suit, he might be inclined to indulge in his desires more than he normally would if he had a clearer head. But the influence of the black suit could certainly cloud his judgment, and as we know from the comics and movies, once the symbiote suit comes to Peter, he almost becomes a different person. He has a brand new confidence and attitude.
Ego boosts his confidence.
He almost becomes a narcissist and develops this bad boy persona, which, if we're being honest, could really attract Black Cat even more to Peter. This obviously would cause a huge rift between Peter and MJ's relationship. As we can see by the end of Marvel's Spider-Man, Peter and MJ are assumed to be together again. However, this symbiote suit is more than likely going to affect their relationship in some shape or form. And I believe that
The thing is that with Peter having on the black suit, that could make him go out with more. That could make him go out with Black Cat a lot more. That could mean that him and Black Cat will be together more than MJ.
Black Cat could potentially be the wedge that divides them. I could see a scenario where Peter and Black Cat are working together for some reason in this story. Perhaps he just seeks out her help for something, and it obviously makes MJ uncomfortable given that MJ and Peter are together now, and Black Cat and Peter have some sort of history. This could cause Peter to become angry and have his anger amplified because of the black suit. Overall, I do love the complexity,
and through that it would probably cause MJ not cause Peter to tap on MJ.
And uneasiness surrounding Felicia Hardy as a character, and I really love the chemistry between her and Peter. She really became a standout character in the heist chapter of the City That Never Sleeps DLC. Yes. The question is, was Insomniac Games only planning to use her for that DLC story and then move on from the character? Or did they have plans to expand on the character and all of the history that they alluded to between her and Peter? I, for one, would love to see more insight on what their history and relationship was like, and I would love to see the dynamic between Peter and Felicia be expanded on, especially if Peter has the black suit. I'm fairly certain that most of you guys would like to see
Oh my gosh, the amount of screenshots if that happens.
Black Cat return in Marvel Spider-Man 2, and maybe even as a playable character in the game. So I won't ask you if you want to see her or not in this game. Instead, I want to know what kind of role you would like to see her have in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Do you think that she has a place within this narrative? Let me know in the comment section so we can discuss. But guys, that's going to conclude this video. I do hope you enjoyed.
The amount of
subscribe
screenshots
button to keep up with all of the Marvel Spider-Man 2 hype. But that's going to be it for me. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.
Pause. Alright, so what else can we go? That's the one thing that I'm actually excited. Ooh, another thing that could possibly happen is when you're having the black suit, could potentially work, potentially like look the other way. Potentially look the other way. If you guys don't know, that means that somebody can look the other way and say Spider-Man and Tombstone. In fact, we still. I will probably end up streaming. I'll probably end up. Long story, if you guys haven't heard about Spider-Man Prom Night, this movie has to be. I'm actually gonna watch it again. The trailer is so fire. It's like Ultimate Spider-Man vibes. And it's dropping today too.
I don't know, I've been trying to talk to him about it, but it's not like we're...
I already told you guys. No.
So, how's Dr. Connors?
Good.
It's
better,
dropping today
actually.
too. I'm excited for this. There's this one, there's...
Peter, I was half asleep. I thought we
There's
both agreed on
obviously
7.
Prom Night, and I'm obviously excited for
Connors.
Spider-Man Solo.
I'm sorry, I lost track of time.
Do you have it? So where'd you say you found this again?
It dropped out of the sky, sir.
I'll definitely take a look at it.
Maybe I lied. Pretty much gave up after what happened. You made a mistake. So what? You're getting better.
But I think I found the cure.
It's like Ultimate Spider-Man meets Amazing. It's like Ultimate Spider-Man meets Kaz.
Something that could stop the full lizard transformation from happening ever again. This.
Did you try your experiment again?
Becomes a lizard too. Oh, this.
It's just every time we get together, it lasts 30 minutes before you leave. Every time.
I do want to be with you. What if I went to prom with you?
Wait. Wasn't that the same guy from like Studios Spider-Man movies? What? Okay.
Giant lizard. Connors, is that you?
Life is all about experiences and taking risks.
That's gonna be so good.
The lizard is back, MJ.
You're an idiot.
My favorite part. Lizard's back, MJ.
This is gonna hurt me a lot more than it hurts you.
Bro, I can't wait to stop today at 5:30. This is good. Let's check this out.
First impressions are really tough. But what about making a first impression that is a new take on one of the most popular superheroes of all time?
Check this out, chat. After we're done watching this reaction, you go back and I'm gonna like after that we're gonna hop into some.
That's the pressure Insomniac Games faced with 2018's Marvel's Spider-Man, the studio's first, and of course now beloved, take on the webhead. While the story to follow includes a
Look again.
memorable and fresh spin on the Marvel stalwart, it's precisely thanks to Spider-Man's opening that we get a clear, concise, and creative vision of what the studio behind Ratchet & Clank hopes to do with Peter Parker. In its cinematic introduction, Spider-Man solidifies what type of person Peter is, where he's at in his Spider-Man career, and how the central theme of the game is going to come into play.
Right.
When Peter succeeds, Spider-Man fails. When Spider-Man succeeds, Peter fails.
So, how did the team go about crafting this sequence? And how did they land on that smooth transition from cutscene to the one thrill every wannabe webhead seeks, getting to swing around New York City as Spider-Man? IGN spoke to members of the Insomniac team to find out just that, and learned about how a classic film inspired the studio's introduction to Peter, and how that beautiful shift from scene to swing wasn't always
look
there.
at Yuri!
This is Art of the Level.
That was Yuri in the mocap.
Spider-Man's intro scene is a beautifully animated snapshot of Peter Parker years into his career as Spider-Man and an encapsulation of Insomniac's take on the character. You learn such an incredible amount about Peter in just a few minutes, from his interest in science and tech to his, let's say, personal hygiene challenges, to the many foes he's already faced as Spidey. It's a packed sequence, but it very much has to be because, as Insomniac decided early on, this wouldn't be yet another Spider-Man origin story.
We feel like we've seen that, and we feel like a lot of folks
what's good, John?
kind of already know the origin of Spider-Man. So what if we started 8 years later and you know, picked
That's
up
what I mean when I was saying
with a Spider-Man who's feeling like he has New York City kind of handled, like he's got it all under control. From there, we just, you know, kind of built upon those ideas and tried to forge our own path.
Spider-Man has to still be introduced, of course, but the team didn't want to spend an entire game retreading the ground that comics, TV shows, and multiple movies already.
Yeah, the thing is like, I like how it's stopped on top. But the thing is like, chat, they didn't want to do an origin story. That's what makes Insomniac's version. That's what Insomniac Spider-Man. They didn't want to do another. That's what makes it more. The thing is, the game Peter's already in his prime in his career.
And in fact, as players learn throughout the rest of Spider-Man's story, Insomniac's take consistently finds clever ways to play with the hero's mythology. The team knew finding the balance between taking risks like that and assuring fans the team understood Spidey was important for their intro scene to get right.
You want to respect the DNA of the character, the reason why everybody wants to see a Spider-Man and be Spider-Man, but you also want to make sure that you can mix it up and put your own kind of stamp on it.
With that in mind, let's break down how Insomniac built their Peter's debut, from all the work and planning that went into scripting and animating the scene, to the hints to his world.
Oh, wait, so that means, wait, hold on, I saw something. That means that throughout Parker's career, Spider-Man, Peter already met Harry by this point. Also, I like how there's a PlayStation 4 Pro right here.
And Easter eggs littering his tiny studio apartment. For such a short scene, it's densely packed with detail, features an instantly charming physical performance from Yuri Lowenthal as Peter, and establishes the personal and narrative stakes at play. So with so much going on, let's break the scene down into a few of its component parts. First of all, that slow pan across much of Peter's apartment. It's pretty small after all. We see photos of his friends and family, hints at his science and tech work, a host of his successes locking Spidey's rogues gallery up, and a nod to the origin story we don't see. And while there's certainly plenty of comic book influences spread throughout the sequence, one of its biggest inspirations that actually helped the team settle on the look of the scene early on comes from another medium entirely.
Hey, Doc?
Oh, Back to the Future.
Doc!
We had a pretty clear vision of what we wanted the opening in that apartment to be. I'm sure when you talk to everybody, we're all going to mention the opening to Back to the Future. That was actually a huge inspiration for this.
Next had the toast right there.
In that opening shot, you know, there's a long tracking shot of Doc Brown's garage apartment house, and it gives us a lot of information. And so that's kind of what we're going for here, is how can we get all this information visually without a lot of dialogue quickly, and, you know, get the story kicked off. You know, there's that old adage, show don't tell. And so from the beginning, we said, how do we get the audience up to speed on the fact that this is a Peter Parker that's been, doing this for 8 years. We, of course, looked at the source material of a lot of things that we grew up with, and one of the things that we hit upon was the Back to the Future opening.
One part of the homage didn't quite end up in the final product, though.
Do you remember, like, when Marty sleeps, he has this really awkward way he sleeps, like, in the bed? Like,
wait, that was supposed to be in there?
So we actually had Yuri as Peter sleeping in the bed like that, but it just looked really, it didn't really end up being in the final shot, but we actually did have that originally. It was another little nod and wink to Back to the Future. Him sleeping in the bed like Marty.
Hello.
But everything we do see in this entire sequence is a shining example of show, don't tell. Quite literally, in fact. Peter only utters one word throughout the entire scene.
This.
But before he jumps out that window to save the day, you could probably already list off dozens of details about this Peter from the simple camera pan alone. And the team certainly strive to pack it with as much information as possible.
Lively debate and discussion over cameras is a big thing between art and animation, because wherever you put the camera is what we have to actually show.
Right.
So when we had to do that table, that workbench with all the stuff on it, we must have done that table so many times.
Insomniac knew what they were doing right here. Insomniac, y'all are geniuses. I see it. Y'all are geniuses. I know that y'all were looking at Andrew's web series a little bit. I can tell. I can tell because Andrews has the exact same Insomniac. Onto something. I didn't think I saw it. And after I was like, wait. After I started looking more and more, I'm like, wait a minute. Insomniac. That's one of the reasons why I love you guys.
So big on screen where like we need more stains, we need crumbs, just all those little details like them have to be considered because the more you show on screen, the more, especially at a 4K resolution, the more detailed it has to be.
Oh yeah.
But a pan, and more broadly a scene like this, only works as smoothly as it does because of the collaboration among departments. If the animation team doesn't know how Peter's room is laid out, they won't know how he has to move around it. But sometimes that means the art team needs to make adjustments to account for a better flow in the sequence.
A lot of it, comes from the concept art. Jacinda and her crew will have ideas or paint overs for that by the time we get to it as animation, and then they trust us a great deal. In this case, like I think the door at the time was on the side next to the window, which I guess would mean there's a hallway.
Okay, so I see it. Okay, I see it. So that means that the bed will be here. You have the poster right here. You have the phone right here. You'll be swinging out the window. Probably like something out of the window.
To the window, and so we changed it to be more that sort of window door on either side, just like a thinner, cheaper room.
So it's definitely like this back and forth where they look at it and they may suggest something like, oh, can we move the bed here? Can we move the window here? Can we add this? And we're like, oh yeah, totally doable.
And digging into everything Peter has, it's almost as if every facet of Pete's world is laid out before us. The personal merging into the superheroic as it goes along. Some of those personal details are ripped straight from the comics, even down to elements you probably wouldn't even think are homages.
I think
I just saw that right there
Spider-Man
too.
issue number 163 that actually has images of Peter Parker's apartment. And I was looking through all this reference when I was doing research on Peter Parker, and I noticed there's some really odd things in this room. For example, there's this huge, almost human-sized dog statue or dog plushie. I don't know what that's about, but we actually made a small version of this dog and it sits on his bookshelf. And then there's also this dead plant that's hanging from
the comics in the game?
Shots in the comics. It's in a pink pot.
I didn't know that.
Very,
That's
very dead.
cool.
So we also made that pot and the dead plant, and that's sitting on his windowsill. All those weird things are very intentional.
This may be a new story, but it's rooted in legacy, from those tiny details like plants or the poster nodding to Spidey's start as a wrestler, to some of the constants you expect in any Spider-Man story, like how influential the passing of Uncle Ben is to Peter's choices. This pan also teaches us Peter truly loves science and tech and tinkering, but even that pursuit isn't quite paying the bills just yet.
I can't take this.
You can and you will.
We kind of took that idea that we're used to seeing the kind of Peter Parker that's like us. He's not rich, and he's got two jars, right? One is the vacation fund, and one is the
honestly, this is. I'm actually gonna watch this off stream. All right, let's go ahead and get back to it. So, that cow. Oh yeah, my D23. Add it to the D. Got way too many tabs on me. All right, chat. We gotta check out another one by Keener. One that I was meaning.
What's up, guys? CBK here, bringing you another Marvel
I'm
Spider-Man.
gonna link this one down there too. I'm gonna link this one down in my
description. If you're new to the channel, I pretty much only talk about Marvel Spider-Man here. So if you enjoyed today's video, then be sure to subscribe to keep up with all of the Marvel Spider-Man 2 hype. Also, I want you to drop your best theory for how Peter gets the symbiote in this game. I'm gonna pick the most creative subscriber.
My guess is that he's probably tagged with, and that would end up with
For a giveaway, so leave that down in the comment section down below. With that being said, let's go ahead and swing on into today's video. So today I wanted to spend a little bit of time theorizing on how Peter could potentially get the symbiote or the black suit in Marvel Spider-Man 2. I think that there is no doubt that Peter will don the black symbiote suit at some point in time during this game. The question is, when and how does he get it from being on Harry, as we saw in the post-credit scene for both Spider-Man PS4 and Spider-Man Miles Morales. So here's my theory, or perhaps just the way I would like to see it happen. To start with, the last we've seen of Harry was in the Miles Morales post-credit scene,
right,
where
and Norman let him out.
Still in the green goo tank.
That's the thing, is that Norman let him out. That's the thing, is that Norman let him out at the end of the game. At the end of Miles Morales.
With the symbiote clearly visible on him. Norman and Kurt Connors have a disagreement or a little fight. Norman wants Kurt to get his son out of the tank and says that he's been in there for long enough, and Kurt believes that it's a little too soon and they don't know the dangers of releasing him and how it could affect his.
Right, and Kurt is a little bit concerned about what the consequences if they let him out in that state. The thing is, Norman's trying to get the symbiote off of Harry, but ever since thinking that Norman wants his better, so he says, you know what? I want him out now.
His disease. It appears from this point on that Harry.
Essentially, I think it's the Osborn curse.
Is going to be released. From here, I want to point out an idea that Evan Falarka had in a live stream that we were a part of. His idea was to have the game start off with you playing as Harry as soon as he comes out of the tank.
Ooh, creative.
Even be done from a first-person perspective, where Harry hasn't gained control of his senses just yet, and he's walking around maybe through a hallway with this symbiote all over him. I don't know. I just thought it was a cool idea that Evan had, and I would love to see it for the start of the game. Once Harry comes back to his senses, he obviously would feel a lot better. Better than he did before he even had his disease. Right. Once he does get adjusted, I would think that Harry would like to hang out with
Wait. I just thought about that. It's not the Osborn curse. His mom had.
Peter and catch up. This is where Peter and Harry's story would begin. I could imagine a scenario where Peter comes over and the symbiote can sense that Peter would be a stronger host. I feel like the symbiote would...
Oh, that would be so good, because the symbiote will want a stronger host, so he's going to know that Peter might be a better host. So wanting to over to time during... Let's just say this. Peter and Harry go to hang out or whatever, or something, or try to get caught up, or Harry and vice versa, up with everything. Harry's gonna end up meeting, check out, and obviously, I'm piggybacking off of what he said. Even if you're watching this, I'm piggybacking off of what you said in this video right here. Which, by the way, I will leave a link down in the description. But that would mean that through that meeting, you would end up, obviously, you'll probably like latch on without him knowing.
Would prefer a stronger host than the body of Harry, which is crippled by this disease.
You
The
don't want
symbiote
to
would
be with...
become obsessed with finding Peter and eventually leaves Harry to bond to Peter. And this, my friends, is where the Spider-Man symbiote storyline takes off.
And then throughout the whole entire story, Peter's going to want to take it off. But the story, towards the end of it, that Peter wants to take it off. And obviously, the symbiote being attached to Peter, he would probably, Harry, and it goes back to Harry, would know that Peter is Spider-Man, because the symbiote, if the symbiote does end up doing this throughout the whole entire, I think it's probably going to be with throughout the whole entire. There's a chance that it might end up going back to Harry, and Harry is now going to know that Peter is Spider-Man.
This would lead us into everyone's theory of Norman Osborn hiring Kraven and his team of mercenaries to retrieve the symbiote and potentially kill Spider-Man. Alright, so I'm going to skip past all of the stuff about Peter going all dark and whatnot when he has the symbiote. We already know that that's going to happen. After Peter does get rid of the symbiote suit, because I'm sure eventually he's going to want to take it off
find himself back to
he
Harry.
realizes what the symbiote has done to him and how it has affected his mind. I feel like after that, this could go one of two ways. The symbiote could simply make its way back to Harry again, or Eddie Brock. And I just have to say that I'm a big fan of Eddie Brock as Venom, so I would prefer it if that happened. It would make a lot of sense considering the dialogue that we got in the trailer for the game. When Kraven says, "Will one of you give me what I desire?" I'm kind of paraphrasing, I'm not sure if that's exactly what he says.
Exactly
Venom then says, yes, we will. So if Harry already had the symbiote back, then why would he need Kraven to hunt the symbiote down? Unless the symbiote is now on somebody else, aka Eddie Brock. I don't know. It's really tough to read into this too much because
I'm thinking that's going to be Harry.
Of taking things out of context and making you believe something that really isn't there. My hope is that Eddie Brock does retain the symbiote for the remainder of the story and we get some sort of epic three-way battle between Spider-Man, Eddie Brock's Venom, and Kraven, and of course you probably have to throw Miles in there as well. But yeah, that's sort of my theory on how Peter really gets the symbiote and how I'd like to see it go down. I thought I'd also mention a popular theory that's kind of made its way around the internet lately, and I've been seeing it in Reddit threads and just comment sections lately, and that is that Peter gets Harry to transfer over the symbiote to him because Kraven is hunting down Venom, which Harry, of course, technically is Venom. And Peter wants to protect Harry from getting hurt. I'm not so sure about that. I've been seeing this theory quite often, and I'm not sure if it really makes a ton of sense, because wouldn't Peter taking the symbiote from Harry kind of leave Harry vulnerable to his disease, unless the symbiote has just cured him altogether? I've seen that theory just floating around so often, and
that would be weird though, because they would end up
that one. That
would be a weird one because it's with Harry's disease. You would need anti-venom for that. If I'm not mistaken.
Really for it, but I'd love to know your opinion on it. But guys, that's going to conclude this video. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully we are inching our way closer to a new trailer or gameplay soon. That way we have some more content to cover here on the channel. But that's going to be it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll talk to you later.
Like the thing is, chat. Like my gameplay reveal date still. Upload this one. Upload this one too. Watch it. I'm tempted to watch it. Yeah, we have to. Oh, hold on, let's check out the comments. Ooh, okay, news. I'm gonna have contact with Harry eventually. So we'll probably latch off of Harry. Like a I respect that. That's also mine. We got the Clop leak. It seems like my theory is starting to catch on. But if for those of you who don't know, I posted saying that we are potentially gonna end up getting September at the original. Probably.
Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to News for the Sun.
It seems like as my theory, like it is actually happening.
We discuss comics, movies, games, and more. And tonight, I want to talk to you all about the upcoming rumored PlayStation Showcase that we're going to be getting supposedly in September. Now, it is rumored that we're going to be getting the showcase in September 8th, but seeing how the way things are going right now and that we're actually on the last week of August, I'm not entirely sure if we're going to be getting the showcase anytime soon, and I think we're going to probably be getting it later on at the end of September, or perhaps maybe another month, like perhaps even October. I know it sounds horrible to say something like that, and I don't want to put you down, guys. Believe me, it is not my intention, but I just want to go ahead and talk about it because I think all of us have been already clamoring for any news or updates about Marvel Spider-Man 2. And of course, any other upcoming games that PlayStation has coming up right now. So I'm here to talk to you all about that today. But before I get started, be sure to like, subscribe, and click on the bell notification so you all don't miss anything. I post videos on a daily. I live stream once in a while. And you can go ahead and follow me on social media, join my Discord. The invitation link to that is in the description box below. Of course, the links to my social media, which you also see here on the screen, is also in the description box below. Just look up my handle. It's just @News2Asanish, just to keep it simple for you guys. It's the same across all of my social media platforms, so that way you'll know where to find me. I do a lot of fun stuff on there. I post regularly on Instagram and of course on Twitter, and I've been making it a habit by posting daily on TikTok. So if you have TikTok as well, you can definitely join me there. I post different kinds of videos there on a daily. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the subject. Now, the PlayStation Showcase is reportedly set for September 8th, and this is coming from an article online called...
The thing is, for a fact, that's crazy, because I don't know what day I posted that tweet. Okay, so unfortunately I cannot find the tweet. But there was a tweet that I made that said that the trailer or the story, I'm pretty sure I said the I'm making a gameplay trailer on the
attackofthefanboy.com.
I think that's
really
great.
funny name. But anyways, let's go ahead and read. For
Happening
those
up.
asking or wondering when the
Doesn't
next
end up happening,
PlayStation
we are
Showcase
doing
will
this.
be, there is now supposedly a date set in stone. The PlayStation Showcase is an occasion where Sony Interactive Entertainment puts on display the numerous video games developed in-house of third-party deals established with other gaming companies. Last year's PlayStation Showcase brought many titles back to the limelight for general gaming audience. Updates on titles such as God of War Ragnarok.
That means that it's potentially gonna. That means that there's a chance that it will probably at D20 Marvel game there.
And Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West. One can assume that the showcase this year will do the same. News and rumors surrounding the next PlayStation event to be hosted on Sony became a topic of interest near the end of August. This is understandable considering that last year's event took place in September and the console company may follow suit, the pattern that they established last year. Some insiders and leakers have attested to the accuracy of such information. Like a similar discussion held by members on the PlayStation forums, the co-host of an Xbox-related podcast elaborated upon the insider of information that he's receiving regarding the dates for the PlayStation Showcase. Following up on the earlier tweets, the host has now confirmed that numerous sources that the dates are now confirmed to be on the 8th of September. Now, again, this is coming from just people posting on Twitters and having a conversation between one another. But it says here, I don't know 100% it's true, but that's the day I just got told too. So, hey, not sure if this is you, but apparently the PS Showcase is September 8th. So, won't be on August show at all. Doesn't sound like it. Had 3 different people tell me 8th of September within about 20 minutes of each other. I know dates get changed very last second to though, but it sounds like they want to go before Disney. And actually, you know what? I'm thinking that Sony wants to probably get out all their information, all their news about their upcoming games before the D23 event, which takes place on September 9th. So I think it's really important for Sony to get a head start just to get their stuff out there so that way people will be thinking about Sony products rather than Disney. But I'm sure both events are going to be great.
Yeah, it could be released at Disney.
So
that's
to clarify, the original suggestion...
That's on the 9th, so that's next. So let's... Obviously... They released it. No, that would make sense though, because... They could do it.
Was that the event could have occurred during August, but didn't for one reason or another. The source alleges that the company's decision is likely made as a result of Disney Marvel Showcase, set to launch sometime during September. Now, here on the channel, we already discussed the possibility of...
Hey, I like how they made this in the piece.
Of D23 announcing some news about Marvel Spider-Man 2.
There's a chance.
I think Sony's going to want that spotlight for themselves because that's their baby. Spider-Man is their baby. They're going to want to showcase that. And I think for Disney to take that away from Sony, I think that's a big no-no in Sony's handbook. So Sony likely wants to place its event date ahead of its potential competitor, like I mentioned before, due to a concern for the public traction that could end up divided throughout that month. Considering how late it is into August, we're on the 25th now at the time of me making this video, the idea of the PlayStation Showcase occurring sometime during this month is likely off the table. The question stands as to what titles could be presented during the events of the 8th of September, and if the date is indeed final. The one thing that will remain consistent despite timetable concerns is the anticipation for the list of potential PlayStation exclusives that could be announced. Despite the month-to-month hosting of State of Play events that keep general users informed as to the ongoing of different Sony titles, there is arguably a certain sense of expectations that goes toward the self-titled event that has become the annual gathering for the PlayStation player base. It is curious to see.
The thing is, if it's not, the thing is, State of Play is not on the, and that's not where I will stick with my prediction. But I'm saying that the gameplay is going to have to be after release. Five-year anniversary Marvel Spider. I have a feeling
if this social occasion will prove
It's an
as
honor of the
successful
game.
as last year. And you all remember last year, it was a really big event,
It was crazy.
especially during the...
Yo, if you guys haven't, go ahead and leave a like on the live stream. I'm not skipping this ad.
Who's coming with me? Catch it on the big screen.
I'm in.
With new
I'm in
footage.
too. I'm with you, Tom. I'm with you.
Do this again. You got it.
Okay, Andrew, let's do it.
No Way
I'm with you.
Home. Rated PG-13.
Sorry, chat. A lot of people are selling. A lot of people say that is
Marvel Spider-Man
type movie. There's another post-credit scene in extra 11 minutes that I never got a chance to see.
2 announcement. That was a major...
And I somewhat saw, but you know.
your highlight. You guys were there. A lot of you guys who watched my live stream, who tuned in, saw how hyped that was and how much I freaked out during that event. But this is really huge. Now remember, guys, take...
Also, you guys saw my reaction to that. That's still...
everything with a huge grain of salt, like I always mention when I talk about these rumors and people speculating, because that's all it is, really. Nothing right now can be officially confirmed unless it's on the PlayStation official blog website. So again, all this is just rumors. But what are your thoughts? I already posted a comment about the PlayStation Showcase, and if you think that we're going to be seeing any new information about Marvel Spider-Man 2, I'm kind of running dry a little bit on the Marvel Spider-Man 2 info, guys, and I'm really sorry, but I'm working on some more videos as we speak. And don't worry, guys, I'll be sure to keep you informed as best as I can. And on another note, something I want to talk to you guys about, you know, I posted this on my community very, very recently, and you probably all heard or saw that Sony is in fact increasing their prices to the PlayStation 5 in select regions. And this is really bad news for a lot of you guys who have not been able to actually buy a PlayStation 5. And right now, if you're going to try to buy a PS5, just know that the prices are going to be slightly higher than you remember. So real quick, I'm just going to go over this. This is coming from the official PlayStation.
All right, that was just also there. We can go over the co-op leak. After that, we can just
Welcome back to News to Astonish, everybody.
First of all, the game's not going to be co-op. Just let you not going to be co-op. There's after that, I believe Monday we aren't tagging it.
I'm your host, Ronnie Rubio, and today I'm going to be talking about the possible co-op leak.
It's not going to be co-op.
That was just leaked for Marvel Spider-Man 2, and of course, it was found in Marvel Spider-Man Remastered. Thanks to a lot of the people who were doing data mining for that game, it might be a possibility that we may be getting some co-op features at the very least in Marvel Spider-Man 2. I'm going to go ahead and talk about this and then talk about my thoughts and my opinions about
I think that
this.
it shouldn't.
But first, before we get started, be sure to like, subscribe, and
yes, chat, this is first story. Why would there be co-op if it's
click on the bell notifications so you all don't miss anything. I post daily videos about Marvel Spider-Man and Marvel Spider-Man 2 content, and of course, on occasion, I post videos about Marvel-related content such as the MCU and other things that's going on in the Marvel Universe. So, as always, guys, join my Discord. The invitation link to that is in the description box below. And of course, follow me on my social media, which you can also find the links to those in the description box below. I have a Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and a Twitch. Simply just look up News to Astonish across all those social media platforms, and you'll be able to find me easily. So let's go ahead and get to the topic right now. Marvel Spider-Man 2 leaks hint at possible co-op. What's better than one Spider-Man? That's right, 2 Spider-Mans. Spider-Men, the PC port of Spider-Man Remastered, is being data mined, and some information has been found that points to a co-op or multiplayer either being cuts from the remaster or, more likely, planned for the sequel Insomniac is working on.
I don't think that it actually
possible leak.
Thing is, like, I don't think that it actually Marvel Spider-Man 2, I'm saying that it shouldn't be. I'd rather swap it. That we can have, like, you know, Miles is gonna have to fight Peter with black suit on Peter. Having a black suit, they're gonna fight. But why would there be co-op knowing the fact that fight Peter black suit on?
leak was spotted on Reddit via Reset Era and shows some code within the game files that points towards co-op or multiplayer notifications. There are alerts for whether Peter Parker or Miles Morales both in this sequel become the superior Spider-Man, and a superior _Spider-Man_winner_ message. Also part of the code reads, if set and in co-op, fueling this speculation that the game...
Hold up, this looks like this could the word Parker is a superior. Miles Morales is a Spider-Man. Superior Spider-Man winner message. This has to be a suit. Insomniac must be, if that mind is correct, this has to be a suit.
Message. Also part of the code reads, if set and in co-op, fueling this speculation that the game will have some sort of co-op feature. Also found in the game's code where markers for player 1, player 2, red team, blue team, character 1, and character 2, further implying the possibility of a multiplayer mode. It could be a simple 1v1 mode given there are 2 Spider-Man in the game. So this is a tweet that I'm referring to right here, and this is coming from Dwayne Tamp, and it says, what is this? And if you zoom in, you'll see the codes that I was just talking about right now. And this was all data mined. Now this is really interesting because I honestly don't really care about co-op. I really am a fan of single player stories and single player games.
Right, it should be
I much prefer to have Marvel Spider-Man, at least that entire franchise, all the games, to be single player.
Right.
I mean, look at Spider-Man Miles Morales. Spider-Man had already been established before. So why wasn't Spider-Man a big part of that story, or why wasn't there at least a co-op feature in Spider-Man?
That's the only reason
Morales?
why I would.
I still stand behind the fact that Marvel Spider-Man 2 is definitely going to be a single player game, and I hope it remains that way.
Exactly. Like Insomniac is, they are building. That means Marvel Spider-Man 1, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales 2, Marvel Spider-Man 3. It makes sense for them. Gosh dang it. It makes sense for it to be. Think about it. This is a Peter Parker story. Playing. Next, we're going to be playing Miles on his journey. After that, this is what I'm guessing. Marvel Spider-Man 3. Goblin's going to be a problem that we are going to at the Peter. Hopefully not, but out of 10, I'm not banging. But probably are headed that route with Goblin being a new building. Trilogy means your story. We're going in order, basically. That means that we are getting it.
If they're going to include co-op, do not make it part of the story, as that might take away from the story. Still bring in the feature where you're allowed to switch between characters only if the story requires it. But if you want to go ahead and play co-op with a buddy, then have that as a feature set aside, which that could be accessed through like the main menu or in the menu when you're playing in the game. As with any leak, however, this should all be taken with a hefty pinch of salt. Like I always say in my videos, take everything that we're discussing here with a huge pinch of salt. So this could be left over from a cut or unfinished mode, some internal development testing, or any other number of non-co-op or multiplayer features. Marvel Spider-Man 2 was written about the PlayStation blog and referred to as a single-player experience. And to this day, I got a lot of people commenting and asking whether this game's going to have co-op or not. Well, just simply refer to the PlayStation blog, and I'll even post a link down in the description box below so you can read it for yourself. But this could also have been written just to keep the inclusion of a co-op a surprise, which is still a possibility. With the inclusion of Venom as a villain in Spider-Man 2 and Subnautica Below Zero writer Brittany M. Morris being hired to work on the game, we can be sure that it'll be a much scarier tale than we experienced.
Oh yeah, because it's a darker story. Like nothing's gonna beat this.
In the first. Aiding this horror will be the terrifying voice of Tony Todd, the Candyman himself. It seems the legendary actor started motion capture work for the villain back in May. He tweeted earlier Rise mocap time, which led many to believe he was referring to Spider-Man. So this is really exciting to hear that, you know, at least a lot of the mocap work has already been done up until this point. But as far as the co-op feature, it's exciting for a lot of people, and I see a lot of people commenting about co-op and hopefully getting co-op in Marvel Spider-Man 2. once again, and I think people might even hate me for this. I hope you don't hate me for this. I hope you guys don't bring your pitchforks, but I'm just saying, I don't really care so much about co-op. I don't want a co-op feature, I guess, implemented in the main story, or at least the main campaign of the game. But if you, again, include it as a feature, which is completely optional, just like how Ghost of Tsushima has co-op features, then I'm okay with it. But personally, I probably wouldn't use it. I just don't see myself doing it. When I play games, I tend to play them for myself and nothing more. I hardly ever join any parties online. I hardly play it with any friends, but that's just me. I know myself better than anybody else. But what are your thoughts? Let me know. Do you want a co-op feature in the game?
I wouldn't
Do you care about
mind
a
it, but I
co-op
would just
feature, or do you want it to remain as a single-player game like it states in the PlayStation blog? Comment down below with your thoughts and theories. Until then, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell notifications so y'all don't miss anything. Follow me on my social media. And as always, I'll see you all in the next comic panel.
Disappointment.
Well, this trailer always gets.
Will one of you finally give me what I desire?
Bro, I'm so excited for this trailer to be released, bro. I'm so excited for this trailer.
Yes. We will.
I'm sorry, but that outro. I think that's all we got to release. That's all we got. I'm gonna go ahead and get off. If you guys haven't, make sure you go and hit that follow button down below. And I will see. I say follow. That subscribe button down below. We're on the road to. You guys have been killing. I've been killing. You guys have been enjoying. Find out if you guys haven't. That button if for Marvel. I'm gonna go. I will be, guys. I don't know how. Oh no, we. Anyways, I'll be seeing you guys next one. I'm gonna go ahead and web swing up out of here, guys.
I'm always in it for the greater good. Ain't it always better when we live in friendly neighborhoods? I'll never turn our back on any saving like a savior should. That nerdy